You see, I put it to you, when rival banks, and this was mentioned in one of the newspapers this morning, and we've mentioned it, but when rival mortgage banks were scaling back their lending in 2007, you were accelerating yours. And as the Daily Telegraph said this morning, almost 1 in 5 loans in the first half were provided by yourself. And therefore, that decision to expand aggressively, that's key to this situation. And you as a risk committee, and you as the chairman of the risk committee, you did not do your job, Mr Wanless, because if you'd done your job, you would have brought to the attention of the board the comments of the FSA in January, the comments of the Bank of England in April, and then had a strategy early on in that year to deal with a situation where you didn't find yourself in the iniquitous position of being the only bank in the United Kingdom to face this situation and going cap in hand to the Bank of England, to end up in a situation where your bank is effectively nationalised. It's the taxpayer that's supporting your bank at the moment.
The position is not like that at all. The position is we were stress testing, plausible stress tests.
No, listen, wait a minute. You're stress testing, but your stress testing wasn't enough. Because you ended up in this inglorious situation.
Our stress testing was stress testing plausible as
This is unreal.
Required.
This is unreal.
No, the position is, and it was confirmed to you by the FSA, who said no reasonable professional would have forecast the set of circumstances that happened.
But the FSA never said to us that no one could have found themselves in this position with Northern Rock. So the FSA didn't come here and give you support as Northern Rock. So don't try and kid us on that.
The FSA said, and others have said too, that what has actually happened, the sequence of events, was not something which was regarded as a plausible stress test at the time. The FSA were talking to us all through that period. We as a board were looking at the scenarios which we were stress testing. Of course, since this has happened, people will do different stress tests.
Yeah, but the FSA said to us that they have to learn lessons in stress testing. Implied in that, implicit in that, is the fact that your stress testing wasn't enough, and that's how you found yourself in this embarrassing situation.
Our stress testing,
and you, as the chairman of the risk committee, should have been alert early on in the year when the FSA and the Bank of England were giving these warnings, and I put it to you that you weren't doing your job. No,
we've made it clear that the stress testing was tested against a tightening of the credit markets, which we expected, and our strategy, as Mr Applegarth has explained earlier, was actually slowing down the growth of assets and selling books, for example, the commercial lending books. So we were taking action through the half year. We didn't foresee the unprecedented and unforeseeable changes in the sequence of events that have happened. That's very clear.
So at the end of the day, your answer to us is unsatisfactory. You don't really know how you got yourself in this situation where you're alone in the United Kingdom.
No, we know exactly.
And you, as the chairman of the risk committee, didn't do your job.
The risk committee and the board did its job, in my view, properly through this period.
So it did its job, and it ended up in this hugely embarrassing situation, causing pain to people in the North East, not least your employers in the community. But you did your job. That's what you're saying to me this morning.
What we're saying to you is, what I'm saying to you is, there's a sequence of events that go through from subprime problems in the States to the run on Northern Rock, which requires a good deal of careful analysis to find out what the issues are.
But you're out of step with every other retail organisation in this country.
We were an outlier.
And you have no adequate answer to this committee. It's why you stand on your own.
We were an outlier in terms of wholesale lending in total, that securitisation in total. That's true, and the figures show that. We weren't an outlier in terms of the maturity structure of the
Well, you ended
wholesale
up in
lending.
disgrace, that's the issue. Michael.